Righto, here's another nutritional episode of Davey Black TV. G'day triathletes. So in Melbourne we're out of lockdown. In the rest of the world we're going into lockdown. Regardless of what position we're in, we all need to think about our nutrition and our diet. So today we've got some athlete questions that we're going to put to Davey Black Sports Performance clinical nutritionist, Melissa Leahy. So here we go. So the first question we've got is, what are the best foods to eat before training or racing? They say it seems to vary from person to person. Some people say that having protein beforehand is bad, while others say it is good. So could you clear this up for us?
Eating beforehand, your real focus is on eating for energy throughout the duration of your session or your competition. Carbohydrate is going to give you more available energy than protein is. There are different schools of thought about protein and building and fixing muscle throughout the competition. But in my opinion, there is more value to protein after you've finished the competition in terms of recovery and repair. The other thing with eating protein before a competition is that proteins are slow to digest and they can remain in your stomach. So if they're not fully broken down by the time your competition starts, they're going to be sitting there in your stomach and they can cause digestive distress, and you can end up with all sorts of gut issues throughout the competition, especially when you start adding water and electrolytes and fluids to that mass.
So like pooing your pants.
Can be really uncomfortable and it can be really awkward. So in terms of what to eat beforehand, carbohydrates are going to give you the most energy and going to keep you going, and are going to be easier to replenish throughout the duration of your competition. So go with like a whole wheat toast. You can go nut butter or tahini, even like a coconut oil or butter if you're okay with dairy, because those fats will keep you feeling fuller for longer as well.
Okay, cool. Okay. So the obvious next question is, how long after a session should I eat and what should I eat? This athlete has said that they often don't feel like eating much after a hard session, but should they force themselves to eat?
Ideally, you want to eat within 45 minutes after finishing training. So you don't need to eat immediately after you finish. And if you've also had a lot to drink, a lot of water after you've finished the training, that's going to be filling your stomach for a while as well. Of course, remember to rehydrate with electrolytes so that water is making its way into your cells rather than just sitting in your stomach, which is going to stay there for a while and put you off eating for even longer. When it does come to time to have something to eat after a big session, choose carbohydrates and protein. Carbohydrates are going to replenish the glycogen stores that you've burnt through from your muscle and liver stores that you've burnt through during the session. And protein, of course, for muscle protein synthesis, which is going to help you recover from your session and build more muscle and prepare you better for your next session. So choose foods that are nutrient dense. So have a lot of nutrients for their calories. So rather than refined sugars, sweets or like a pasta or white bread, choose foods that are going to give you more nutrients for the calories that you're eating. Go for whole grain breads. You could have, a whole grain toast with nut butter, banana, some cinnamon on it. Oats with yogurt, berries, seeds, maybe a couple of boiled eggs and a banana, beans on toast, eggs on toast. A snack like that after training if you're not particularly hungry, will get you through, and then you can have something else later on. So eating something rich in good quality carbohydrates and protein within 45 minutes after you finish your training.
Righto, some great info there, thank you. Our next question is pertaining to fats. This athlete would like to know what is good fat, what is bad fat, and which fats burn better when aiming for long distance events.
Put simply, good fats are fats that occur naturally in as close to their natural form as possible. So nuts, seeds, avocado, oily fish, olives, meat, etc. And also the oils that have been cold pressed from the fruits. So coconut oil, olive oil, hemp seed oil. These are oils that have been literally just pressed out of the fruit and have not been processed any further. The healthy fats are mostly monounsaturated fats like avocado, and polyunsaturated fats, omega-3s, omega-6 and omega-9s. Now, there's a lot of detail around all of these different fats. And if you're really interested to know more, I have a blog post about this on my website. In terms of bad fats are damaged fats, highly processed fats, hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated fats, trans fats, light oils, vegetable oils. Now, these oils are all produced from what were once natural seeds, etc. But the cleansing process has been done chemically, and this is what makes them unhealthy fats.
So what kind of foods will we find these damaged fats in?
You find these fats in vegetable oils, margarine, commercially baked biscuits and pastries, pies, etc., fast foods. And these damaged fats cause inflammation and can be dangerous to your health.
So then where does saturated fats fit within all this?
Now, saturated fats have got quite a bad rap in the past, but actually saturated fats are not unhealthy fats. They are naturally occurring and they are actually healthy, but it's best to keep them in a smaller proportion of your overall intake of fats. The best ones really are to focus on the monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids. So all of those natural occurring fats.
So from everything you've said there, Melissa, do any of those burn better in terms of providing a cleaner energy for athletic performance?
Now, in terms of what burns during long distance events, it's not really dietary fat that burns during a long distance event. Fats take a long time to process in the system and to become available. So when you start drawing on fats for energy, what you're really drawing on are stored fats, and they're the fats that are already incorporated into your adipose tissue. Eating a lot of fats before a competition is not a great idea because, again, they do take a long time to break down, like proteins, and they will sit in your system and they're not going to become available through the duration of your competition.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Thank you. All right, so our final question for this round of nutritional advice is if you're aiming for weight loss but also on a heavy training load, how do you balance this out?
Weight loss is going to vary enormously from person to person, but I'll do my best to give you a good generalized overview as to how it works with training. Before we even start talking about your calorie intake and how that works with training, if your goal is to lose weight, the first thing you need to look at is what your current diet looks like and what where the calories are coming from. And if you are someone who snacks on highly refined sugar snacks, so lollies, soft drinks, chocolate, ice cream, etc., or high carb, high fat foods, fried foods, chips, donuts, cakes, etc., those are the first foods to remove. Not only because they are contributing so much to your calories, but they're contributing empty calories.
Yeah, okay, so that takes away a fair few of those food items that people generally tend to gravitate towards when they're wanting a snack post training, around that, you know, that 3 p.m. slump that we talk about. So how would you suggest that the average athlete who is aiming to lose weight would calculate how many calories they need to eat per day?
So the first thing is to replace all of those nutrient void snack foods with whole foods. So bringing in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, meats, beans, fats, etc. When we start looking at calories and working out what your calorie need for the day is, this is called your estimated energy requirement. Energy is calories. So it's the amount of calories you need to eat in order to provide the energy that you need. And this number of calories is calculated taking into account your age, your weight, your gender, and your activity level. Now, this is all calculated and comes out with your estimated energy requirement, or the number of calories that you need in a day. So if your goal is to reduce weight, you would take this number on any given day and reduce it by 300 to 500 calories. And that calorie deficit will help you to lose weight.
And so what would you suggest on their rest days or recovery days when they're on a reduced training load?
Now, on a rest or recovery day, what you would do is reduce your carbohydrate intake, and that will take it down another couple of hundred calories. But you don't take those calories from your protein or fat intake. Do take them from your carbohydrate intake, because that is what contributes to body fat and body weight. So on your rest and recovery days, the night before, you would eat like a lower carb, higher protein meal that would help to balance out your blood sugar levels, so you're not craving more carbohydrate type foods. And through the rest and recovery days, eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, whole grain carbohydrate, and plenty of protein. And avoid snacking more than you need to.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Melissa. That's been really helpful. A lot of great information in there for our athletes. If anyone wants any more information, then please just drop us a comment below. So that's been another nutritional episode of Davey Black TV. We'll have another one very shortly. So until then, eat well and stay healthy.